Hello, Jay Mitchell here from 4NOWX. Hope you've had a great week. It's been a warm week, and Thursday was the culmination of all of that, as I will show you right here. We reached a high of 87 degrees after starting out at 62, well above our averages for this time of the year, flirting with a record set not too far back in 2010. To date, we've had a little over 5 inches of rain, and we've talked about this for the last few weeks. We need rain. We put a deficit, or should I say, we put a dent into that deficit. Remember, we were around 4.5 inches in our deficit this time last week. Now we're only down to under 4, which is good news. But that will likely increase in terms of the deficit itself because we will not have rain in the forecast for the foreseeable future in Baltimore or a good chunk of Maryland for that matter. We'll discuss that in a second. But also, I need to talk to you about temperatures across the state because it was pretty warm in a lot of locations. Get this, it was 84 in downtown, 87 at the airport. It was 59 out in Oakland. Almost a 30-degree temperature difference in about 150 miles because of the way the cold front and the dry line was set up on Thursday. Ain't that something? But a lot of places were in the low to mid 80s across the state, as you will see here. Same deal, just moving around to some different stations. Pardon me. Look at the weather headlines for the weekend and the week ahead. Rain Saturday, potentially, and I'm giving you about 20% chance it would really be in the far southern communities, in the far southern counties of our state. So, southern Maryland, the Delmarva. We'll talk about that. Also, it's a cooler but drier weekend ahead, and the work week, beautiful. Easter Sunday, beautiful. So, hope you get to look forward to that. But real quick, let's talk about last Saturday because we had thunderstorms that went through, and then after the cold front went through, we had gradient winds behind the cold front, which were ridiculous. Look at these wind gusts. Patuxent had a wind gust of 70 miles per hour. The airport had a wind gust of 63. Same in St. Mary City, and a lot of locations saw between 45 and 55 mile per hour wind gusts. So, yeah, definitely a little unsettled in that department on Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Thankfully, it didn't last too long, so hopefully, you didn't have too much wind damage, if at all. But just wanted to point that out. Also, one more thing, I want to throw some numbers at you because winter's pretty much done with, to be honest with you. Snow, in terms of just snow, we are going to have the least snow in a single winter in Baltimore history. This is likely going to stand. The last time we've had any measurable snow in April was back in the 06-07 winter season. April of 2007, we had, 2/10 of an inch of snow. So even then, we would still have the least snow in any winter in Baltimore history because you got to go back a couple generations to find the next least snowfall in any given winter. That would be 7/10 of an inch, and that was way back. I think it was in the 50s. I can't remember exactly when, but you got to go back in the time machine a little bit. So I'll tell you what, that is just ridiculous. And then you look at where we should be for this time of the year, and we have next to nothing. So safe to say, we have had our fair share of just complete lack of snow in at least Baltimore, D.C. Now, out west, they've had a little bit more snow, but still, you get the point. Let's talk about the weekend and then the week ahead because it looks a lot more promising, even though we do need some rain. So, let's get to that. Before we talk about our rain chances, let's talk about this drought. And, man, I will zoom this in just so you can see it a little bit easier, but most of the state is at least an abnormally dry range. All of southern Maryland, pretty much, however, is in a moderate drought range, and it's starting to get serious. So, yes, we do need rain. Unfortunately, we're not going to get too much within the next 7 to 10 days. So, just take that with a grain of salt. Our next chance for southern Maryland, which really needs it, is going to really come on late Saturday, really. As I will show you here, we have a passing low pressure system in the Carolinas that may clip our southern counties. Here is 2 p.m. As you can see, it's really clipping our most southern tier communities. So areas along the Potomac River, the Patuxent River in southern Calvert, St. Mary's, Charles counties, and then the Delmarva region. So that would be Dorchester, Wycomico, Somerset, and Worcester counties may be getting in on some of this. Otherwise, little to no rain expected. Euro's not that generous. I will just show you that just for that matter. And go to this time frame and just show you this. I mean, this is the same time frame here, 2 p.m. and nothing. It's keeping it well to our south around the Virginia North Carolina border. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. So I'm only giving you a 20% chance. Otherwise, gray, cloudy, and gloomy for Saturday. Sunday looks much improved, however. 59 for our afternoon high. As I will transition here to our 7-day, we have a quick warm-up. We don't really have any rain in the forecast, as I told you, for at least the next 7 days, probably more. And we have a warm-up. By this time next week, we could be in the low to potentially mid-80s. We'll see what happens, but that's something to be looking forward to. For Southern Maryland, basically rinse and repeat. Yeah. Except it's going to be a little bit warmer, and I'm keeping that chance of rain for Saturday. Otherwise, beautiful conditions, although we do need some rain. And potentially our best stretch of weather this year. When we look back at this in December, this may be a top 5 stretch of weather because this is just beautiful, but we do need the rain. Hagerstown, Urban, Western Maryland, Frederick, Cumberland. Same deal, a little bit cooler, but you get the point. Far Western Maryland, cooler for Saturday, only getting to 44, but look at the jump that we take. For Western Maryland standards, this is pretty good. Eastern Shore, far southern portions of the Eastern Shore, maybe southern Talbot County, but more or less Dorchester County, and then down to the Delmarva. Maybe a chance of rain, otherwise just great conditions. Go ahead and enjoy it this week if you have some time to. And then Salisbury, Ocean City, basically the same deal. Potentially a rain for areas but in the Delmarva, but more specifically to the south. So take that with a grain of salt, only giving you a 20% chance. Besides that, looking pretty good. So yes, we do need rain. We're going to have a really good stretch of weather the next week or so. So enjoy it, but also let's hope we get some rain in here because I'm really concerned about this time next week. That deficit's going to be back and it could be larger. So yeah. Besides that, I'm Jay Mitchell from 410WX. Be safe, keep your eyes to the sky. Have a great weekend and have a great week.